Hey everybody, Struggling to 1000, everybody for duty. Welcome back to episode of Kirby in the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World. In the last episode, we had a bit of a heck of a game with a treasure road that I'd rather not want to do again. But if you're wondering what I'm doing back here in Waddle Dee Town, grinding up my stats for attack and speed, I'm basically doing that to set up ready for the boss fight. Because believe me, you will need it. We're going to go right into this treasure road real fast with Storm Tornado before we actually get to doing that boss fight, because this is going to be the stage, not like the one individual stage of the treasure road or whatever, but this is going to be the episode where we're going to be finishing off the main story. I'm not exaggerating now. I'm actually dead freaking serious. If I don't get the target time in this, I don't care. Right, just use the tornado to my advantage. There we go. And now we're going to deal with Florinas. Just use the blocks and the enemies as ammunition for attacking Florina. And also the stars that they drop from the attack they do. There we go. Raising your stats actually does wonder for you with the treasure road, but ideally best not to actually do it constantly because they do cost 150 star coins per one to raise the attack boost and speed up by 200 seconds. So just be sparing with it. Because even though those codes that you can actually redeem, if you research on Google Kirby in the Forgotten Land codes for the Postman Waddle Dee, not every single one of them you can actually redeem because some of them were under a time limit event, and what more is some of the codes have actually expired. And others are just like, basically like, they can only be redeemed once. Right, I'm going to pick up Dragonfire for this boss fight because I always use his ability for the boss fight. There we go. Boss fight time. Now, I would definitely say this boss fight is not easy to actually beat every single secret mission in one run. So I am going to bring up a research on this specific stage right now. And see what bonus missions we have in tow. Okay. Right. So we have the standard clear the stage. We have the standard clear the stage within a time limit, just the boss fight, not the entire stage full stop. And then clear the stage using a second level evolved ability, which is what Dragonfire is. The other two missions are literally similar to one another. the standard one, obviously, don't take any damage. The other one, don't get hit by the boss's certain attack. So we literally have two bonus missions that both contradict each other to saying, do not take any damage. Because you can see King Dedede down there. Yeah, we have to fight King Dedede again. His primal nemesis, Forgo Dedede. He is going to play his boss fight music again. But in this, you got to watch out for Forgo Dedede's fire attacks. I decided to get the attack up and speed up ability for this because some of his attacks are actually relatively hard to dodge. But you got to deal with this one boss fight, and then the actual boss fight starts, where he's going to start running circles around you to try and make it harder for you to hit him. Okay, just making sure he didn't set up any fire. Because most of his attacks, like, I can't really talk about what his attacks do, because I actually want to clear every single mission in my first run, to save me having to keep constantly do this boss fight over and over and over again. You will properly get to see his attacks in tow later on. Don't worry. Because remember the Colosseum? We had to fight certain enemies that we had already fought against earlier in the story when we first came into contact with Meta Knight. When we beat the main game story, that exact same thing is going to happen when this whole story is done. You have to refight all the boss fights. And upon defeating Forgo Dedede, the Beast Pack show up, and they immediately run towards the elevator that just recently opened, but one of them had to trip. But King Dedede notices and runs down to help. And he sacrifices himself to deal with the Beast Pack to save the one Waddle Dee. The true definition of a king to his fellow men. As we enter Lab Discovera. So yeah, we will be dealing with the Forgo Dedede boss fight again momentarily shortly. So don't concern yourself about missing any finer detail about attacks, because you will get to see them at another time. Now this cutscene is actually very stupid, by the way.
Welcome, visitors, to the Dream Discoveries Tour of our science facility, Lab Discovera. On this thrilling tour, you'll be introduced to the ultimate life form, specimen IDF-86. From the moment IDF-86 arrived on our planet, it began a campaign of destruction that threatens the native wildlife of our entire world. Luckily, our research team managed to capture it before it could complete its invasion. Once it was contained, our lab began studying IDF-86's spatial teleportation ability. Research that laid the groundwork for the planetary warp technology we enjoy today.
Yeah, and now we can see where all the Waddle Dees have been captured and taken from.
However, 30 years after our research began, a warp experiment incident occurred in this facility. A new life form, separated from the main specimen, escaped in the aftermath. That new subspecimen...
You notice the music playing in the background right now? Yeah, we're going to be dealing with another boss fight immediately.
...has shown no signs of activity.
But don't worry,
It is now kept
we don't have to save any more Waddle Dees.
within the custom-made eternal...
The Forgo Dedede boss fight is the very last stage of you having to rescue a Waddle Dee.
And here we are. Let's meet the ultimate life form, specimen ID.
Yeah, I'm skipping the cutscene entirely. This is specimen ID F86, as what was mentioned to us in that cutscene. Take a good look, pink intruder. Isn't this a beautiful sight? You're not even seeing the Great One in full form. They're incomplete without their other half. Long ago, the Great One granted the people of this world a miraculous power. Those people left this world behind and entered a land of dreams. Once the Great One is complete again, I know we will also receive this miraculous power. We, the ones they left behind in this forgotten land. And now, the time has finally come. That's right. This small creature here is the Great One's missing half. Finally, after all our planning and effort, we can help the Great One reach their complete form. We've dreamed of this moment for so many years. If you dare to stand in our way, we'll feast on your hide. The true boss of the Beast Pack. King of the Beasts, Leongar. He's gonna start off by just approaching you by doing these like fast-ish like claw swipe attacks. He will jump towards your location and try and get a good hit on you again, but then eventually he will do this. Yeah. He's just basically getting close to close combat, but the more you focus on doing damage to him, he'll then realize, yeah, you thought that he was actually in control, but actually he is not. Leongar is actually being mind controlled by IDF-86 the entire time. Attacking like a true lion, he just basically like does that swipe attack and then tries to chomp on you. There is actually more attacks he can do, but that's basically the most that you're going to be able to see. He was just constantly attacking with his claws. Occasionally, sometimes debris will actually fall down to land on directly on your head. And he will just do that chomp attack. But we saved Evelyn! You dare! Plan ruined. Important plan. Needed labor. Opened vortex. Found workforce. Brought here. And yet, error made. Irksome pink contaminant. Careful planning. Now wasted. No more planning. No more patience. Instead, everything shall be consumed. Yeah. Specimen ID 86 was actually talking as Leongar the whole time. And the Beast Pack are actually under the influence of the mind control too. You actually can take damage from touching that blue goo, by the way. So just enter through this door, and in comes boss fight number 3. Invasive species, Fecto Forgo. You're basically having to fight while running down this corridor, and by the way, yeah, it's not a case of, oh, just keep running and avoid his attacks to the very end of the corridor, because he does have a health bar for a reason. You gotta pay attention to Leongar's head when he does this attack, because he will charge right after your current position and try and bite you. Touching him in general will deal heavy damage in some way. Well, not heavy damage personally, but damage enough for you to actually, like, have things delay. But he's caught Elfilin. And then he's fled. We gotta give chase. This is now the final boss fight. Maximum tomato found right here, because there's always a maximum tomato before you enter a boss fight. Except for when we had to do the Fecto Forgo one. You've got all of these abilities you can pick up. And I did not mean to pick up a hammer. So yeah, we got sword, cutter, bomb, fire, rangers, tornado, drill, needle, ice, and hammer. Choose any one of those 10 you want, and then when you're ready, onwards we go. Now there are a ton of attacks that this boss fight will actually get to do, but unfortunately I may not be able to get the opportunity to actually show it. ID F86's true form is known as Ultimate Life Form Fecto Elfilis. It will start off by summoning these sword beams which go right to your every position. It'll do this attack like twice, maybe 3 times or something. I think it's twice definitely. But then he will decide to dive in and get his sword stuck. That is your chance to get an attack on him. Then he will do this sword attack again. Just run out of the way. Let the fire attack do consecutive damage if you actually want to, like, save your... Oh, he will do that scepter swipe attack. But if you take a long period of time doing damage to him, full stop, it will gradually teleport away. Starting phase 2, he's going to summon these... Elfilis is going to sort out these meteors that fall into your current position. Just bait them into running down here, and then run to a spot where this big meteor is not going to land directly where you're standing. Then he will do this vertical slice gliding attack before stabbing into the ground again. Then he's going to teleport out and turn into 3 different forms. Just find the real one and clock a ton of damage to it. The longer you take, when you see that blue ring go down, it will gradually heal his health. But it does actually tell you where he is positioned the longer you take to actually find the real one. Right, I'm going to deal with the meteors again. Big meteors are going to go forward to the far left. There we go. Now he's going to stab once more, and there we go. When he's down, you get the one and only chance to save Elfilin. Use your mouth mode ability and wiggle your thumbstick like mad, because he will try and summon this scepter, or well, I think it's called a scepter, or whatever it is you want to call it, to try and stab you off of him. So it actually resets the phase 2's phase in general, basically. That will activate this cutscene. However, the boss fight is not yet over. Such incredible power! Whatever it's trying to do is going to be pretty bad. What is it, Kirby? Oh, is that your home? That's Planet Popstar? Oh no, it's pulling Popstar through that huge vortex. It wants your world to collide with this one. We have to stop it. But how? The last mouthful mode ability we get to use in the main story. Similar to Cardmouth, the big rig. Just use it like the standard car transformation, in other words, and you can see certain enemies there having that dark, eerie aura hovering over their heads. Yeah, that is definitely something to pay attention to, because it's going to be something you're going to have to deal with momentarily later on in the game. Because believe me when I say this, there is actually a post-game story to this. Yeah, I can't avoid not spoiling that, but to be honest, when you see the enemies clouded in that psychic aura that's wrapped around their head, that is a tell for something that's going to be coming up later on. And there we go. All I have to do now, let this cutscene fall through to the end, and I do have to button mash here. There we go. We do the jump. And now comes this bit. You gotta mash the B button really fast here, and then here you gotta button mash every button plus back with the thumbstick, oh sorry, B, and back with the thumbstick at the same time. And that's it. That's the end of the boss fight. And that's the end of the main game story. Now you get to watch the cutscene of everything fulfilling the definition of do or die situation. Kirby is back on Planet Popstar, but everything is falling apart. Yep, everything is being poured in. I need a closer connection between worlds. Even if it takes all the power I've got. Hey Kirby, thanks for everything. Yeah, if you thought Elfilin sacrificed his life to save Planet Popstar, nah. Kirby thought that Elfilin died, but it just shows up immediately afterwards. Yeah, I'm not going to let you listen to the song this time, even though this is actually the full-length song compared to the opening credits. You got to see all of these pictures of your accomplishments. King Dedede in Waddle Dee Town, and then the bosses you fought against of Dedede himself, Silly Dillo, Floraline, Goemondo. But there's one boss fight that's actually not there. The boss fight in it's Wispy Woods. It's Wispy Woods. Well, Tropic Woods is the best way of putting it, but still. And now the Beast Pack have snapped out of their hypnotic trance that IDF-86, otherwise known as Elfilis, did. So now the Beast Pack get to freely live their lives in a chill environment with Kirby and the Waddle Dees. So there you go, they're getting to enjoy a day out in Wandera. It's really cute when you got that Whoopi just pretending to be the octopus. It's really nice. So, what do you think of this game so far? Do you enjoy it? In fact, I actually find it kind of weird how when I was on Facebook earlier on today, I saw somebody, I don't actually recall who they are, but they made a post about the majority of Nintendo Switch / Switch 2 games that you can play on the console, and he made a tier list of games he really enjoys playing to games that he doesn't enjoy playing, with a bonus tier list at the bottom saying games he has never actually played. And this was one of the games that that person has never actually played before. Obviously, I am not going to be saying straight up that he is probably going to be watching any of my videos because he does not actually know who I am. He would have done it if I actually chose to comment on his post, but I didn't. So, yeah. Which, speaking of, I kind of find it weird. It's like, Facebook have been doing like an update lately about how, oh, I can actually get paid money for advertisements on my Facebook page. But I don't get paid money for doing my videos. I basically have a Facebook page so I can share links of my YouTube uploads in case if neither of you are able to find me on Twitter, otherwise known as X. But you probably won't be able to find me on Facebook anyway because I don't really do good advertising at all. Like, I don't advertise my posts, I don't advertise my page on Facebook at all. Where it probably might come down to the point where I might actually consider closing my page down and just focus on uploading posts on Twitter and leave it as that. But anyway, yeah, I didn't comment on the fact. In that credit scene, when he saw a picture of everybody hanging out in Waddle Dee Town, Leongar wasn't there. Next time on Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World, we are going to be entering the Colosseum because a new tournament has been unlocked for us. And also, we will be focusing on the side mode story of the game. And when I say the side mode story of the game, I don't mean the Star-Crossed World DLC. We still have a section of the main game story that we have not yet done. The quest to bring Leongar home to Waddle Dee Town. See you guys then.